All right, what's up? We're live here on a rainy Tuesday here in Oklahoma. Seems like it's going to rain for like the next week or so here in the great state of Oklahoma, but doesn't matter because it's not going to rain on our parade because it's football time here in the great state of Oklahoma. We've got Oklahoma State kicking off on less than 48 hours from now, right? On
about 48, 6:30, I think, is the kickoff.
Oh, 6:30. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we're a little over 48 hours away from that game kicking off in Stillwater. Oklahoma State taking on UT Martin. I've got a bunch of other games on Thursday and Friday. We're not going to talk about the Saturday games just yet. We're going to do that Friday. We're recording a show tomorrow night that we're going to put out Friday since T-Bag will be in Stillwater on Thursday night. So we'll talk about the Saturday games on our Friday episode. But we are going to talk about a lot of college football today. First, though, I wanted to start off T-Bag. So I was down in Paul's Valley today with Mark Rogers, and he gave me one of these, a nice copy of the Pigskin Preview here.
Nice.
And so I was just digging into to learn about some high school football here in the great state of Oklahoma because it's my 6th year doing the Blanchard Lions games. So I was learning some 4A, and I realized I got into 6A because we're two 6A guys here. You at Norman or not Norman, Edmond North, and myself Moore. So I was like, man, I want to check out some 6A. I didn't realize that no team from the west side of the state has won the state championship in 6A1 since Midwest City in the great year of 1995.
Yeah, it's been a while.
30 years. 30 years.
I remember whenever Norman North made it in 2016. It was my junior year of high school. The Stoops were on that team. Charlie Kolar was on that team. A bunch of they had a linebacker. I can't remember his name, but he went to go play at Memphis. They had another guy that walked on to OU. They had a bunch of studs on that team, in other words. And I remember they made the state championship against Union that year. And I remember like, hey, I know we play like our coaches like I know we play them every single year, and they're like, not a rival, but they're in our division, in our conference. But like we were diehard Norman North fans. We have to see. It'd be so cool for the West to finally get one. Yeah. Just so to have a little bit of our respect back. But yeah, it's an uphill climb that I don't really see anyone. I think Deer Creek High School is the answer to this, Preston.
Well, so I think Mustang this year might have the best shot at winning it this year.
Long term though, Deer Creek with that way of Edmond / Oklahoma City is growing. And they've already built themselves up. When I was in high school, they weren't good, and now I mean they've made it to 6A2 state championship. They might have won one, but I know they've at least made it a couple times. And they're just growing and getting a lot better as a football program. And they're not going to build another high school, which is kind of the key in all this. That if you combine all of Norman, all of Moore, and all of Edmond into one high school. Probably a couple state championships between those three schools in the last few years. So yeah, it's definitely been an uphill climb for the West Side schools. We went 16-0 in middle school. Shout out Sequoia, 16-0, 8-0 back-to-back seasons, never lost a game. And we're my class like we're gonna be the class to do it. Not even close. Not even close.
So yeah, we need a team from the West Side. I
root for anyone. I'll root for Edmond Santa Fe made it a couple years ago actually, and my number one rival in high school was Edmond Santa Fe. Never beat them, doesn't matter. But I was rooting for him because I was like, I want the West Side to get one so bad.
You're a better man than me because if Westmore was in there, I'd want them to lose 100%. So, speaking of Westmore and Moore, I saw this the other day. So. As you know, whenever you played a Moore school, they played at Moore High School at that stadium. They've built stadiums at each of the schools now, so each school has their own stadium. So this year is going to be the first time ever that Moore War is played at Westmore, which is crazy for me to comprehend. I don't know how they're going to hold all those people because the whole city of Moore goes to that game. So Since like 1988, I think is when Westmore and Moore first played. So the first time since 1988 that Westmore is going to host a Moore War. I saw that. That was pretty insane to see.
That will actually be a really cool game to go to. Just for the fact of what you said, that this will be the first time in 30, 40 years that's been the case. When I was in high school, we played at UCO. All the Edmond schools played at UCO for their home games. And then my senior year, Santa Fe, or my junior year, Santa Fe was, all three Edmond schools now have a stadium. Santa Fe, my junior year, was the first one to get theirs. And we opened up at Santa Fe, played them on their new stadium. And then my senior year, I just had to watch Edmond North Stadium being built. And I did. And my freshman year of college, my first year out of high school, they finally had their own stadium. But I was like, that would have been like my home stadium, my senior year of high school was Santa Fe. Like that was my home stadium, was playing on a field with Santa Fe's logo and like wolves in the end zone. That was our home stadium. It was I was butthurt. I was a year away from having my own stadium, because that would have been really cool.
I don't blame you.
I used to be a kid really confused too, going to North games or Santa Fe games, or even Memorial games. Like whenever, like my dad's like, let's go to the game tonight, and he would try to explain to me. This is when I was like 7 or 8, and I'd be like, why is UCO on the logo? Like Evan, that doesn't look like an N, or that doesn't look like an SF. I was so confused.
As a lot of young kids probably would have been.
Yeah, my dad was like, no, this is a college. I was like, no, the only colleges in Oklahoma are OU and OSU. My dad's like, I'm not going to fight this right now.
By the way, shout out UCO preseason top 10 in Division 2. So dude, shout out to Broncos. They are. All right. Speaking of college football, let's rip the Band-Aid off and let's get into some
high school football talk. Little high school football talk.
Yeah. Hey, look.
High school football is the most pure sport in the world. Can't change my mind.
And it's very fun Friday nights, just in especially like small towns like I go to every Friday night.
Oh yeah, where it means everything.
Yes, it is. It's awesome. So, all right, I'm going to give you the floor here. Oklahoma State taking on UT Martin in Stillwater Thursday night. As of like 11 o'clock this morning via ESPN Bet, Oklahoma State was a 23.5 point favorite in this game. Still no starting quarterback. I mean, one of them is going to start. I don't think
they're both going to play. Yeah. One of them will start. Who knows?
I don't think Mike Gundy's going to trot out 2 quarterbacks on the very first play.
They know who it is. I know that. They know who it is. I tried to get some information yesterday, and I was told I'm not going to tell you who it is. And it's like, so someone you do know who it is. So yes. They know who it is.
There was an off the other day between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State as well. We'll get
Washington State.
We'll get into the Oklahoma part of that. But I mean, take it away. The floor is yours. Let's talk about the Cowboys taking on UT Martin.
Yeah. The spread is, I don't want to say concerning because I think Vegas, like, let's just play this, smartly, or let's strategically like play this, because I don't think they even, with how smart Vegas is, they even know what this team's going to look like, because we've never seen them play before. And also, I don't think Vegas is really, putting too much emphasis on the Oklahoma State versus UT Martin line. Don't know how much people are going to be.
Yeah, I don't think that one was like burning the books too much.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be, $100 million total place on that game. But I mean, right now with quarterback, I don't have any information. Like I just said, I lean it's going to be Haas Haney going out there as QB1. This is what all signs are pointing to. That's kind of what the insiders are kind of directing at as well. That it's going to be Haas Haney. Not going to be shocked, obviously, at all if it's same floors. Like if on Friday, if we're talking, and people are like, I thought you said it's going to be Haas. Like, yeah, Zane came out to start. I'm not going to be shocked by that whatsoever. Everything it sounds like that this defensive line, I think the thing OU and OSU both have in common this year is going to be able to rely on that defensive line pretty confidently.
Yeah.
OSU, it sounds like they're going to have, Cale Gundy was saying yesterday and today on the Morning Animals that he's expecting 7 or 8 guys to play 30 plus snaps a game on the defensive line. So they're going to be rotating. They're going to be fresh and be healthy. It sounds like they got a couple studs. Wendell Gregory from South Carolina being one of them. I know the West Georgia transfer, can't remember his name off the top of my head. I know he's another one that they're very high on. So Ivan Oates coming back, who had a good season last year, one of the few bright spots in the defense last year. So defensive line, I think, is going to be really good. I think the defense altogether is going to be really good and really deep. Not saying it's going to be a 2021, top 5 defense like we saw Jim Knowles, but I think this is a chance to be, a pretty good defense that can keep you in some games. And then it sounds like with the offense, just kind of got to stay the course and, just hope by week 6, week 7, it starts to click all together because there's going to be no one on offense that has played together. On this kind of in the starting 11, there's going to be no more than 2 guys at most that have played together on offense. Same goes for defense to a degree, but on offense, it's a new system, new offensive line, new quarterback, new receivers, new running backs for the most part. 5 oars on the running back list. So no one knows who that's going to be. I lean it's probably going to be Caleb Hicks and Rodney Fields and Trent Howland kind of be Sesi Valahi as well. I think they're going to be pretty deep at the running back room. I don't know if they have a true star though, but wide receiver room. I know Terrell Davis, Preston, your guy. He's been making a lot of noise in camp. Gundy said he's exceeded his expectations, and if Gundy's saying that about someone, that sounds like he's going to be getting significant snaps. Sam Jackson,
two former Broncos listed as number 1 on the depth chart for the Cowboys.
Yeah, which is back to UCO football. It's a good recruiting tool. Be like, hey, come here for a couple years. You can go play, Power 4 football.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this offense is kind of everything I picked up that OSU, take away the Oregon game because in the grand scheme that doesn't matter for the playoff. The OSU's going to have to win the Big 12 to get to the playoff, and I'm not even trying to say that that's a possibility or anything. But the first 4 games of the Big 12, Baylor's tough, but that game is at home. And then you have at Arizona, who I think is one of the bottom teams in the conference, and then you have Cincinnati and Houston at home. So 3 of your 4 Big 12 games are very, very, very reasonable. So if you look at a 7-2 or as what would that be? A 4 conference games plus 3 out of. So if you look at a 5-2 start with 3-1 in the Big 12, which is possible. Even if OSU goes 6-6, like that start is very possible. If you get that and the defense is as is good, and this defensive line is as good as they seem like they're being advertised, and this offense can start to click with whoever it is at quarterback. I'm starting to get optimistic that I'm not saying this team's going to win the Big 12, Preston, but starting to get optimistic that by November we might look at Oklahoma State and be like, that's not a bad football team. Any given Saturday they could fight against anyone.
The only thing that it keeps getting me is what I keep hearing everyone say is like, well, Mike Gundy when the expectations aren't high, Mike Gundy, but I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, what happens if he falls on his face again?
That's a problem. That's a bridge we'll cross when we get there.
well, yeah. Whenever if said things were to happen, we would cross that bridge when we got there. No, look, I do believe in the whole Mike Gundy. Whenever the not the standards, but like the expectations aren't as high as what they were heading into last year. I think Mike Gundy will improve that team. I mean, he brought in a lot of coaches with NFL experience and just a whole lot of football experience to begin with. He didn't go on LinkedIn and find a guy that was coaching at East Popcorn State in Division IV football. So I think that'll be good for him. But I'm excited. I just love football, and I can't wait to watch this game on Thursday night.
And here's the thing. It's like I don't think we're necessarily going to know how good or bad this Oklahoma State team is based off this game. Now, obviously, if they lose or
we might not even know till Big 12
to Baylor
plays.
That's the game for me where it's like Tulsa, because I do think Tulsa. I think they might be one of those much improved teams. Now you should beat Tulsa at home. So I think Tulsa is a good because UT Martin and Oregon for 2 completely different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
I don't know how much you're gonna be able to say. All right, this, that, or the other. Maybe we will. Maybe, but we don't know for a fact. But I think Tulsa and then the Baylor game are kind of the 2 games where we're really gonna, be able to see how good this team is. But for this first game against UT Martin, Preston, we're at least going to have answers about, all right, here's who's playing. Here's what these two quarterbacks looked like. Here's what, the defense did. Well, this, that, the other. We'll have answers on that. It's just for how good this football team is going to be. I don't think we're going to have a clear-cut answer probably until that Baylor game September 27th. So probably like October 1st is when we're going to be like, all right, Oklahoma State's bad, Oklahoma State's good, Oklahoma State's defense is decent, and they can improve. It can go so many different ways.
By the way, I just realized it looks like we're hosting a golf podcast right now with our hats that we're wearing at the moment.
I've never been I got my master's hat right here.
Shout out Tommy Fleetwood. That's about all the golf you'll get here.
Got my Southern Hills hat on, and every time someone says, like your hat, I always say, thanks, I haven't been. I've never been to Southern Hills, and I've never been to Augusta. Shout out Greg Humphreys, and shout out my buddy Jake for this hat.
Yes. See, Derek on Facebook says he thinks OSU will roll with Haas Haney for the starting quarterback. Jeremy says can't blame Meacham if he's going with his guy. Mm-hmm. We've got the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Yeah, that's Tech fan right there. I'm not going to call him by his legal name. That's just Tech fan.
So they didn't mention Tech or OSU on the pregame during Iowa State and Kansas State game. It's because they weren't that good last year.
I think you got to mention Texas Tech though if you're talking Big 12 big picture.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
They kind of are the story, and I don't know if they're odds-on favorite or they're the betting favorites.
But again, my thing with Texas Tech is that every single year they are predicted to make it to the Big 12 championship game.
I'm not going to argue on that one.
And Tech fan. They just don't. So I need to see it from them. But before I'm sitting here, riding, throwing my tortillas out onto the field and stuff like that. So, all right. Anything else on Oklahoma State? Do you think they cover the 23.5, or do you think that's just kind of a bogus line that got thrown out there?
Both. I think they cover, and I also think it's just kind of a bogus line. But yeah, 31. If they win 38-14, that's covering. Yeah, and that's not like some crazy blowout game. It's a blowout, but we see 63-6 games with FCS teams a lot. So it's not like you're asking for a whole lot to cover 24 points.
Yeah,
OSU manhandled South Dakota State last year, and they sucked, and South Dakota State was good. Yeah. So you got to win this game.
I think if you're a Cowboys fan, you're just hoping for a W. You want to put a W in that column right there. That's all you're hoping for. It's been a while since you've seen one of those.
If OSU loses Thursday, I don't know how I will react. I haven't even let myself think that like that.
You might have to take a leave of absence from work for a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Because who knows? But hey, that would be an all-time.
No, what I would do at that point, I would just drive to Kansas because we can't get it here for whatever dumb reasons. I would just drive to Kansas and find, a team I think could win the national championship and put a lot of money on them, just become a fan for them for the season. That's what I would do. Hop on the Clemson bandwagon or something.
Yeah, there you go. All right, the other notable game Thursday night. There's a couple, but there's only really two, notable games. Nebraska taking on Cincinnati. This game's at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City.
Will Taylor Swift be there with her fiance?
Something says no, that they will not be. Well, I guess.
I bet Travis will be there.
He was a Cincinnati guy. I forget that he went to Cincinnati.
Yeah,
so.
Travis will definitely be there. It's at Arrowhead, and he went to Cincinnati. I bet Jason will be there too.
Something tells me she's got better things to do than go watch Cincinnati play football.
Hey, if she's at a Big 12 football game, that it might just mean more.
It might.
Big 12 versus Big 10.
Yeah, your mark might be onto something, right? Nebraska's a 7-point favorite. Is this the year that Nebraska drags themselves out of the pits of hell and returns to college football?
So do you have their schedule? I can pull it up if you don't.
I do not in front of me now.
Okay, I'll pull it up right now. I want to say yes, Preston. I do. Because their schedule is not hard if you look at it. They start off with Cincinnati, who they're going to beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not good. And they play Akron and Houston Christian 3-0. Then they play Michigan at home. That's the game. But then you look and they play Michigan State at home, at Maryland, at Minnesota, Nebraska or Northwestern at home, USC at home, at UCLA, at Penn State, and then Iowa at home. Like it's not a crazy schedule to go 9-3 on. Like that could be like a falsified 9-3 kind of thing. So I think there's potential for them to have a good record. But along with the, like what we said about Texas Tech, we've had this conversation before, and I'm not going to fall for the trap. But their schedule definitely sets them up to where, hey, maybe they can be a 9-3 team.
Yeah. Ott says, "Are you multi-streaming? If you mean by streaming on different platforms, yes, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and X, which you are commenting on. So you can find us there. Peanut Butter Posse on YouTube. Was Nebraska good before or after Tom Osborne?
They were good before. Tom Osborne took over for someone that won national championships.
Yes, and he also says maybe Nebraska isn't a football school, maybe a Tom Osborne school. I will say in my lifetime, Nebraska has not been good outside of like early 2000s and the 90s. And I was born in 95, so I don't remember the 90s at all. So I wouldn't be able to really tell you much about the history of Nebraska.
Yeah, Bob Devaney was there, and he won 2 national titles with Nebraska in 1970 and 71. Then Tom Osborne took the keys, but Nebraska, I think, was also a big merchant on the no scholarship limitations and steroids. I think that's what they were kind of merchants on in the 80s and 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Here's the thing: in those decades, if you weren't cheating, you weren't trying.
Yeah,
right.
and everyone had different ways of cheating.
Yes.
Steroids, money, cars, whatever it was. Women.
Yeah, exactly.
Miami was women, cars, and drugs.
And track scholarships as well.
Yep. Oklahoma was money.
And cars, I'm assuming too.
And cars. Nebraska was steroids and corn. USC was just being USC. Yeah, everyone back then, all the powers.
Okay. How about this headline? I can't get mad at God for making me look like him. Those words come from Dylan Raiola as he refuses to admit he is trying to be a Patrick Mahomes impersonator.
Yeah.
This is the same guy who, by the way, has the same goatee, the same haircut, the same sunglasses, and the same play style as Patrick Mahomes. And you tell me which of those traits God made him, have whenever he was born.
The ability to semi-look like him if he wanted to try.
I saw that. I'm like, really, dude? Like, you're going to come out here and say, hey, I look like I'm a Patrick Mahomes wannabe because of God?
And then he said, I saw a clip, too, of him saying, he's like, when the kids come up to me, they call me Mini Mahomes, and I have to tell them, like, no, don't call me that. It's like, bro.
Yeah. It's like you're literally dressing just like him. You have facial hair just like him. Like, shave the goatee, man. Maybe wear like some Ray-Bans or something, and shave your head, or have a different haircut, dude. Maybe people won't say that. So, Nebraska. We'll see if they can drag their program out of the pits of hell this year, because it's not been good for them. But it's one of those things. If Matt Rule can't get them going, then who can? Right.
This is
because I think Matt Rule's. He's been good everywhere he's been at, except for the Carolina.
It's always been year 3. Year 3 at Temple, he went 10-4. Year 3 at Baylor, he played OU in the Big 12 championship, went to overtime. If they win that game, they're in the playoff.
Yeah.
So here he is, year 3 at Nebraska. So this is a year where Matt Rule usually, gets his team to 10 wins.
Whenever I think of Matt Rule, I think of that video of the robotic tackle dummy just running into him and tackling him at practice.
I think of the one when he was a Panthers coach and he's just drooling, literally just saliva just rolling down his face. It's like,
that's how much he loves football. Much he loves football. So, all right, and then the Friday game.
Podcast, by the way, did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, he's starting a podcast during the season. That will go over well with the fans when you have 4 losses.
It will. That's got to be the first college football coach to start a podcast.
Yeah, like Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy does like a live show, but like all coaches do that, which is technically
they do like the radio show for.
But but it's not like a podcast.
Yeah. Well, I guess tune into the Matt Rule show every week if you're a Nebraska fan.
Oh,
that
he
should
should
be
take
interesting.
callers. Bring back coaches taking callers. If fans are going to be paying for these players, bring back coaches taking callers. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's even like Oklahoma is having fans, that have the ability to pay to get into the post-game press conferences this year. And I mean, obviously, I don't think they're going to be able to get asked questions, but it's not above me to say, hey, if you're an Oklahoma fan that gets into one of these things and you see me there, I'll accept payment and you can take my question.
Hello, Sam.
You pay me for my question. Sam says, imagine how long Venable's podcast will be. First topic, 4 hours. Yeah, that might be like a whole like a 6-hour thing. You just explain how Lincoln Riley's players were all smoking pot and being bad guys, and you had to bring the Lord with them to turn things around in Norman.
There's nothing more challenging than what I will have to do tomorrow morning when I get to the studio. Than Curtis saying, "Hey, cut up a couple clips to make update friendly of Brent Venables," which are update friendly clips when we do the sports updates. We like to keep them within 30 seconds, 30-second long clip.
No chance.
It's one of the hardest tasks I have during the fall.
Mark Daignault is the same way. He uses a bunch of big words, and all his clips are like a minute and a half long. I'm like, bro, just throw out like 30 seconds. We're good, and we can wrap this thing up.
Yeah, that's why I always appreciate the player interviews, no matter the school, because they're just there to say the right things and not get fined.
It's like 5-second clips.
Coaches will deep dive into anything on the most random, topic, and the players are like, I think we're gonna be good this year. Sweet, thanks.
All right, the first Friday game we're gonna talk about Auburn at Baylor. Auburn, I figured Baylor would be a favorite in this one, but Auburn right now is a 2.5-point favorite. Will they play 3 quarterbacks like Hugh Freeze says?
The ultimate question. This line, for the longest time, I have been joking that's going to be my TNW Tire Lock of the Week. Or not joking, I've been serious. It's like, this is going to be my TNW Tire Lock of the Week. But
Baylor
now that
plus 2.5 seems like easy money to me.
No, they're minus 2.5. Baylor plus 2.5. Baylor plus 2. Yeah. You're right. Exactly, Preston. And that's what Vegas wants you to think. This line isn't moving. Everyone's all over Baylor in this game. I'm going to go with Auburn because of what Vegas is telling us. I was going to lock Baylor for the longest time, and now that my gambling brain is starting to kick back in, I'm starting to
you're seeing the board now?
Remember the secrets to beating Vegas, which never works. But I'm like, Vegas is telling us Auburn's going to win this football game. Like, that's what Vegas is saying. I'm a Baylor guy. I've picked Baylor to win the Big 12 this year. I think they're going to be really good. I want Baylor to win this game. Like, I'm rooting for Baylor, but I can't get past that. Why is Auburn favored on the road in this football game when it sounds like they have chaos everywhere?
That's my thing, is I can't get past the chaos.
Yeah, I know. Just stay away. My advice is just stay away from the betting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I am gonna watch this game
for sure.
But I'm not gonna touch this.
Great Friday night game.
With a 10-foot pole. My bank account will not be harmed by this Auburn and Baylor game on Friday night. So, that is gonna be a fun game though. I can't wait to watch that on Friday night. And then the other one on Friday night that is worth the damn. I guess we could say Georgia Tech at Colorado. For those of you in the chat asking who Colorado plays, it's Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is a 4.5-point favorite. What does Colorado look like in Deion's first year without a family member on the team?
This is another fascinating game to me because I'm high on Georgia Tech this year. I don't necessarily think they're a playoff team, but I think they're going to be a very good team. Their coach,
very well coached. I forget.
Yeah, and he's a Georgia Tech guy. Yeah. He's all in on the program. They were good last year. They had a couple of games where they fell back down, but took Georgia to 9 overtimes, 8 overtimes, whatever it was. Yeah. It was chaos. Returning a lot of their production this year. Their schedule lines up for them to possibly make a push for the ACC championship. They avoid. They play Clemson, but avoid all the other decent teams in the ACC. And then, on the Colorado end, like you said, what's Deion going to look like, without Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, in a in a
He
reboot
just
year.
named the quarterback too. I forget who the
Is it the true
quarterback.
freshman or is it the transfer?
The transfer from
Makes sense.
Liberty, Caden. I don't remember his last name, but he's going to be the starter there, and then that true freshman will be the backup. But I saw that he is expected to probably play a little bit in that first game. So, I mean, the biggest issues at Colorado has been the offensive line the last 2 years that Dion's been there. It's just been absolutely terrible. That, and I guess you could say Shedeur just likes to hold on to the football for like 5 minutes until he finally tries to do something with it. So, but it's going to be interesting to see life without Travis Hunter there, Shedeur, and all those other guys there at Colorado. That's an interesting team for me to watch this year is the Colorado Buffaloes.
Yeah, this is. I mean, the 2 Friday night games we have are just so interesting. On every team is kind of a storyline, and they're kind of both the same storyline in both games. Like Auburn and Colorado kind of felt the same sort of like, what are they going to be? I feel like Auburn's a lot more chaotic than what Colorado is.
Yeah,
because Dion's not going to be like on the hot seat or anything this year if they
this
struggle.
feels like the first year that Dion's been there that we haven't had just like some type of dumb controversy or news coming out of Boulder.
Probably a good thing to be staying low key. And then with Baylor and Georgia Tech, I think those are 2 really good teams that have potential, and this is a good send a message game kind of to the country of what they're going to be. Again, I don't think Georgia Tech's a playoff team. I don't. I think Baylor definitely has potential to be a playoff team. But Georgia Tech for what their expectations are, and maybe making a push in a weak ACC to make a conference title game. So yeah, the 2 Friday night games are just great. Like storylines. All right, what are the all 4 teams involved? Like what are they going to look like? We're going to find out.
Yeah,
pretty quickly.
Have I ever told you my Auburn story?
I don't believe so.
So the Sugar Bowl 20, what has it been, 16, I believe. Bob Stoops' last game. Oklahoma was playing in the Sugar Bowl. They were playing against Auburn, obviously down in New Orleans. My friends and I, just freshly 21, said, you know what? Let's go down to Bourbon Street for New Year's Eve and the Sugar Bowl. So we're at the game. And we've got these like 2 old ladies that are Auburn fans sitting a couple rows in front of us. And obviously we're 21-year-old guys, right? We got a little bit drunk. We're being a little bit, stupid as 21-year-old drunk guys are, right? And these 2 old ladies just turn around and start flipping us the bird, man, dog cussing us. And I couldn't help but just cry laughing that these 2 old Auburn fans, 2 old ladies were just flipping us off, talking crap to us at the Sugar Bowl. So
there's nothing better than like when you're around other fans or something, and you're not saying any personal attacks to them. You're just making them mad on your football slang of whatever it is. Like, we're gonna run the ball down their throat. They're like, they can't stop us. We're so much better. When you just make them so mad to the resort to profanity, it's the best feeling ever. It's like it's a high that you get. Now, again, people, all you listeners, don't go out there and take any personal attacks and stay away from the children. But, and don't get any fights. Don't pull an Avery Johnson and his brother.
Which that was, speaking of, that was just
time.
insane. So Avery Johnson, the starting quarterback of Kansas State, his dad and brother got into an all-out brawl in the streets of Dublin after that game Saturday. And they both had to release a joint statement. There's nothing like, beating the hell out of your dad or your son.
Dad got the upper hand on that one.
And then, getting back to the U.S., which maybe they didn't even make it back to the U.S. Maybe they're still in like a Dublin jail cell somewhere.
They're not the first father-son to find Dublin. I can guarantee you that.
Honestly, you probably don't even get in trouble for fist fighting your son in Dublin.
What's the problem? What's the problem?
But yeah, just releasing that joint statement was a crazy move by those guys.
Did you have the same thought I did when you first saw the video? It's like, oh my gosh, Avery Johnson and dad and brother fought some Kansas State fans after the game, and then like an hour later, everyone's like, no, that was his they're fighting each other.
Yes, I was like, oh my god, like, jeez.
Just Preston, imagine you're walking out of you're walking out of any stadium, whether that's Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, the Cotton Bowl, Bryant-Denny Stadium, any stadium, and you're just walking out as an OU fan, and you just roll up to John Mateer and his dad, John Mateer's dad and brother, just going at it in the streets.
Yeah.
Just imagine like the thought process that be going through your mind, because they all knew, all the Kansas State fans knew that's a dad and brother. Like when you got a star quarterback, you kind of know like what the family members look like and stuff, especially if they're wearing the Avery Johnson jerseys. Like that had to be something to walk into.
Yes, no, 100%. That was, man, I just couldn't imagine. After the game, Avery Johnson just looks at his phone and it's blowing up, and he's like, "God damn it, man! What are these guys doing?" Because something tells me, T-Bag, that wasn't the first time they came to fisticuffs in their life before.
No,
yeah,
probably not.
Okay. All right, let's get into some other college football topics. As I mentioned before, we're recording a show tomorrow, a little fantasy football with Matt Ravis. Then we're going to talk about the Saturday games as well. That'll come out Friday evening, since T-Bag will be up in Stillwater Thursday night for that game. So that'll come out Friday evening.
And there's football to watch on Thursday.
There is, Friday, yes, so. There is football to watch Friday. So, okay. Fans lose their mind. First of all, get your paddles out, because we had an oar off the other day here in the state of Oklahoma between Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. Oklahoma State had 17 oars. I think Oklahoma had 18 oars on their depth chart, which doesn't mean a damn thing. I'll tell you that right now. It means absolutely nothing. Like
they know who the starters are.
Yeah, Jay Knott being the third string running back, I could care less, right? He's been banged up all camp. He's going to be the starting running back come week 2 against Michigan. I think everyone knows that and realizes that. But it's just crazy, all the fans losing their minds over, all the oars and who's where on the depth chart. It's like, guys, they're playing Illinois State.
Yeah.
Like, they can go out there with the third stringers and beat them.
Yeah.
At least you would hope so at the University of Oklahoma.
Well, Illinois State's like a top 5 FCS team this year, so credit. All due respect. You got to all due respect the FCS opponents.
Yeah, like I still respect them, but I mean, there's levels to this, right?
No, you're right. And also, it's just like, I mean, depth charts have just been like this for the last few years. It's just another thing with the coaches being, what's the word I'm looking for? Just tight, and always on edge and have looking over their shoulder. The oars are, I mean, if you're freaking out about the oars, come on now. Like I knew. I think, Preston, if someone would have asked us last Thursday, hey, OU and OSU is going to release a depth chart, would you be shocked if there's over 15 oars on the depth chart? I think me and you would have been like, no, I'm not shocked at all.
No.
Washington State put every single position as oar. New Mexico put Tom Hanks characters in their depth chart. Their core, it is literally Tom Hanks characters in movies he has played and roles he has played is their depth chart. Depth charts are the most meaningless thing now ever.
Yes.
We're going to find out week 1 who the starters are and who they aren't. And then on week 2, it will solidify who the starters are. And
exactly. Just because there's enough oars on the depth chart to get up the Mississippi River doesn't mean anything, and you should calm down. It'll be okay.
And also, a lot of the times, it's like, hey, on your defensive line, you kind of want some oars on there. Except if you got like
100%.
Like, well, Grayson Halton, I think he probably technically won't start for OU at defensive end. He might, but if he doesn't, that means Robert Spears, or not Robert Spears, R. Mason Thomas, or whoever, pick your poison at edge rusher.
Well, and look, Oklahoma, and fans should know this by now, they shuffle guys in and out constantly.
Yes, that's what you want on your defensive line. You want like 6-7 guys that are starting caliber type of guys. Exactly. Obviously, only 3 or 4 of them are actually going to start the game. That doesn't mean that one's going to get more reps than the other. Yeah. And one's not going to be used in certain situations than the other.
It was a big whole lot of nothing, a big nothing burger to me. So
Jaden Ott, the only interesting thing about Jaden Ott was there's no oar for him at third string. And it's again, he hasn't practiced. And I also think this maybe could just be a message to OU saying like, hey, like you got to practice, like even if you are hurt, like, but that's a valid excuse.
Are you hurt? Or are you injured? Right.
I'm not even saying that's what OU's doing or anything, the whole are you hurt or injured game. But it's like, hey, yeah, like no matter how good you are, like if you're not practicing, you're not practicing. So you got to practice to be a solidified starter or an or guy.
Yeah. And then I thought it was also interesting.
He'll be the starter as long as he's healthy.
Kanik at tight end for Oklahoma. I thought that was interesting to see.
It's gonna be interesting to watch him play.
Yeah. So other than that, I wasn't like so, been out of shape about anything.
You should have just done the ultimate troll job and put John Mateer or Michael Hawkins Jr. Like they missed. Brent Venables missed on just an all-time joke. Like just the best joke. Be like, you know what? I'm just in the fan base into a frenzy just for fun.
Or he could have played the Lincoln Riley with who was it? Kyler Murray and Austin Kendall. Yeah, we haven't picked a starting quarterback yet when everyone in the world knew who the starting quarterback was going to be.
I remember people like, maybe Kyler Murray just isn't that good. It's like maybe like Lincoln Riley is just not going to tell anyone.
Yeah, he's crazy as we all know now at this point. All right, I saw this story this morning. I thought it was very interesting. Our Texas Tech guys will like this. Texas Tech quarterback is it Baron Morton uses his NIL money to buy 150 acres of land in Central Texas for hunting and fishing, and he plans to lease it out to hunters when he isn't there. That's how you use your NIL money right there.
It's a business model.
Yeah, don't go out and buy the fast cars or anything like that. Go and buy you 150 acres of land in the middle of nowhere, Texas.
Yeah, and if that were me, I would have bought a bunch of land not far away from Stillwater. Like if I was an OC quarterback or something, it would have just had the ultimate party house.
Yeah, I looked it up because he was like, it's close to where his parents live, and they said the town. It's like kind of outside Abilene, Texas, so literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
out there in Texas, which I guess if you want hunting land,
where my family's from.
If you want hunting land, that's where you want to have it at, is in the middle of nowhere. So I saw that was interesting. And then how about this? So 2 weeks ago, the starting quarterback of the Oklahoma Sooners, John Mateer, almost had a scandal on his hands when his Venmo account transactions got released. And then today, who does the NCAA partner with? None other than Venmo to combat abuse and harassment from sports bettors, harassing college football players.
John Mateer's got to be the face of this.
He's got to be. He has to, yeah.
Like, come on.
If the NCAA is going to make any type of, cool move, they have to. John Mateer has to be the first phone call they make. Be like, hey, so you want to be in this Venmo commercial that we're doing?
And John Mateer be like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Has to do that. So that came up. And then what was it? It would have been Saturday of last week. Hawaii's kicker. Did you see this story?
Yeah.
So he hit the winning field goal against Stanford, which, by the way, T-Bag, good God, is Stanford terrible. I mean, they are awful.
Woof.
Yes.
Frank Reich. I did not realize we talked about a little bit about it last week. We're like, I know they fired their coach in June. Did they get one? It's Frank Reich. I did not know that. The former Indianapolis Colts
guy. Yeah. Their quarterback, I'm still not sure he can throw a forward pass. It was so bad. They end up losing on a last-second field goal. I'm not going to try and say this guy's name because he's from Japan, so I'm going to butcher it if I try and say it. But the kid learned how to speak English and kick field goals using YouTube.
That's the dream. That's the American dream.
I guess he might have just saw some American football on over in Japan and said, you know what? I think I can kick field goals. Let me just YouTube that stuff, and I'll figure it out. So that
you'll live in Hawaii for 4 years.
Yes. And then Michigan tabs freshman Bryce Underwood as their starting quarterback. So it's official that Bryce Underwood will be the starting quarterback when the Wolverines roll into Norman here in a couple of weeks. And then one of the biggest stories in college football is Ohio State soft, as they might not have banned Barstool Sports owner and CEO Dave Portnoy from being on the field during that final segment of Big Noon Kickoff. The Ohio State AD says that was Fox's move, not theirs. I find it kind of hard for Fox to ban a whole entire group of people from the campus of Ohio State. I feel like that's got to be an Ohio State thing. But again, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
It's a game of he said right now.
Yes.
But it sounds like that Ohio State, because Barstool wants to do their college football show, I think it's like 6 times a year before big noon kickoff.
Well, yeah, because they just did that deal with Fox. So they originally were going to travel to
Yes.
6 different locations and do their college football show before big noon kickoff starts.
And I know Portland and then Big Cat from Barstool, who are the 2 top dogs there, have both said, yeah, we're not allowed to do our Barstool show at Ohio State. So that right there is enough to call them soft. And yeah, I don't think it's as hard. I don't think it's as deep as saying like, yes, they banned Dave Portnoy from Ohio Stadium because he's a Michigan fan. But I definitely think that Ohio State does not want Dave Portnoy there, and Fox just kind of obliged to it. And Dave was like, "All right, yeah, whatever." Dave did put a emergency press conference rant.
Oh, as of course, yes.
Which is a great listen. It's everything you would have thought it would have been, saying, there's a reason Ohio State can't beat Michigan because they're too busy thinking of me and the big bad bullies. It's like you're supposed to be playing Texas this week and you're thinking of Michigan. We're in your head. No matter what, Ohio State doesn't realize, no matter what the story is, Ohio State, no matter what, has just given Dave Portnoy that final Infinity Stone he needed.
And it's just
there's no coming back from that one.
It's just like the NFL and a lot. He's just going to turn it away to where people are going to gravitate towards him.
Yeah, he made $500 million for sticks like this.
Yes,
it was for the longest time. It was with Roger Goodell in the NFL.
Yeah,
and now
love it or hate it, but
now he shifted his focus to Ohio State, and love him or hate him, the guy, what he does works, and his bank account will tell you that.
Yes. All right, and then the biggest story in the whole entire world: Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. They're getting hitched.
Congrats
Your
to all.
Thoughts? Yeah.
Congrats. This solidifies
love is in the air.
This is Travis Kelce's retirement tour.
Had to bring Taylor Swift on board for that.
Yeah, this is going to be his last year. That's my take on all of this. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw it was, all right, we already thought that Travis Kelce, this might be his last year. We saw a little bit of decline last year. I mean, he's still a great tight end, but nowhere near the best tight end in the NFL last year. Showed up great in the playoffs. I think this is going to be his last year, and then he's going to get married to Taylor, get into Hollywood, become an actor, be on TV a bunch, use his talent that he has. And
just what we want.
They're just going to be the ultimate power couple. And go ahead and what is it? It's October 26, 2025. Let's say October 1st, 2029, 2030. That Taylor Swift divorce album is going to hit different.
She will sell a few copies of that. I would assume so.
Travis Kelce, man, like if Swifties hate all of her ex-boyfriends for the most part. I think there's a couple that they don't mind because it ended, fairly. But Taylor Swifties hate, boyfriends.
Yes.
You're going to be the first one to marry her.
Yeah.
If this ends badly, good luck, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll be fine. You'll be fine because you're, doing just fine. But stay off the internet if that were the case.
Yeah. But it was also funny to see her post that on Instagram and tag him as well. And it's like Taylor Swift and Kill a Trap. It's like, oh man, what a handle you have there on there. And then shout out.
It has 21 million likes already.
That's got to be the most liked picture in the history of Instagram.
It's going to be. By the time it's said and done, it will be.
I think people were saying within like 2 minutes of it dropping, it already had like 1 million likes or something like that.
I think Messi's World Cup is the most liked picture of all time on Instagram right now with like 75 million.
Oh yeah, we're not even 24 hours in, and that thing's already at 20 something million. So,
which is crazy to think that Messi's World Cup photo, like of him posting a picture of him in the World Cup, is the most liked photo of all time. Goes to show how big of a star Messi is on the.
By the way, shout out to whoever on Taylor Swift's team that has the phone that gets those notifications, because that phone has probably been dead now and will not be able to charge for like the next 2 months.
Just got to just got to delete the Instagram app after you post it.
Yeah, just post it and then delete it and be on your way.
We're out of here.
And then one final thing I wanted to say, shout out to my quarterback, Justin Herbert. He was found love himself in Madison Beer. If you don't know who she is, look her up.
Good for him.
That's all I say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think all of us as a society are very proud of Justin Herbert.
He's finally turning the quarter and becoming that star quarterback out in LA.
He needs it. He needs it.
Love to see it. So shout out Love. Love is in the air.
I saw that clip you posted today of the Barstool guys talking. That's the most true thing ever, where it's like, yeah, Justin Herbert was the most eligible bachelor in America. Like, 6'6", good looking, $250 million contract, lives in LA, like looks like a fun personality. Like, what more would you want in a guy?
Exactly. And Miss Beer found it. So
treat him right. Treat him right.
Exactly.
If Justin Herbert, God forbid, if Justin Herbert has a bad season this season, when do you push the blame Bennett and Beer button?
Immediately.
7?
Yeah.
Immediately. You're going all in. Yeah, you're going all in.
I ride for my guy, Justin.
The first 3 interception game, you're like, all right, she's got to get out of here.
Yeah. Losing the playoffs one more time, I'm sending a DM to her and be like, hey, get off him, all right? Because we need to win football games in the playoffs. Immediately. I'm not afraid to do that. So, all right. Well, we'll be back on Friday evening to talk about Saturday's games and I guess Sunday and Monday's games as well, because we got college football all weekend long. We've got NFL next week. We got this is week 0 of high school football. Week 1 is next week as well. So we're back. We're about to be in the thick of it. So
8 weeks from today, Banner Night in Paycom Center.
That is true. Close your eyes and it's going to be basketball season. So
we're 8 weeks away from heart of football season.
Yeah.
World Series and Banner Night in Oklahoma City.
Exactly.
And the weather right now from August is like fall. It is.
Yeah, it feels like
November 3rd outside right now. It is November 3rd out there. I'm gonna puke.
Feels like we could be like giving out Halloween candy at the moment.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. But all right, we'll be back on Friday. Have a good one, everyone. Be safe if you're going up to Stillwater and all that, and enjoy the game and whatnot. But we'll talk to you Friday. Adios.